Class 86 locomotives. This H0 model was produced by the Gützold company in the 1960s and sold by Pico in the former GDR. The model has numerous applied details such as the water tank, cover and brake pads. The length over buffers is 160 millimeters. Now, going from model to original, a total of 775 Class 86 locomotives were built between the years 1928 and 43. More were actually planned but were not made due to the Second World War. It was a so-called standard freight tender locomotive, and they were used by the Deutsche Reichsbahn on branch lines. Now, due to the large number of locomotives in this series, there were numerous manufacturing companies. With a length over the buffers of 13,820 millimeters, so almost 14 meters, and a service weight of 88.5 tons, they reached top speeds of 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. And they were first used both in the lowlands and in the mountains, but after the end of the Second World War, they were used mostly exclusively in low mountain ranges. Over the years, there have been more or less major structural changes. For example, the steering racks were modified, which increased the maximum speed from 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. And further changes were made during the Second World War. The second window on the driver's cab was omitted, as were the running wheels designed as disc wheels. And yes, the locomotive numbers were also only painted on, for financial reasons. But the production was then completely stopped before the end of the Second World War. But as this series was not used in warfare itself, almost all locomotives were preserved and were located in the western and eastern zones of occupation, as well as in Austria, Poland and Czechoslovakia. In detail, 380 locomotives ended up with the newly founded Deutsche Bahn in the western part of Germany. Most of them were stationed in Nuremberg. With the modernization then of the vehicle fleet over the years, all locomotives were gradually retired between 1965 and 74. Another 173 examples were owned by the Deutsche Reichsbahn in the eastern part of Germany. Most of them located in Aue, but some also on Usedom. Now, in the GDR, decommissioning began only in 1973. And well, yes, further 71 copies that were on the territory of what later became the GDR immediately after the end of the war had to be handed over to the Soviet Union. Some of these were in use for industrial railways for many years. Today, 13 locomotives of this series have been preserved, 10 of them in Germany. In particular, the oldest locomotive of this series is located in the Saxon Railway Museum in Chemnitz. But in contrast to this particular locomotive, two more are still in operation today and are owned by the railway construction and operating company Presnetztalbahn.